currently, Vlad the Bad has a Ukraine fixation. Xi Jinping has got a Taiwan fixation, opposite ends of Eurasia. Xi Jinping is also causing India problems and doing South China Sea Island building, but they're on opposite ends of their two empires. So far, nothing aligns with these two. And even in a world war, their primary theaters probably would not align the same way that the Axis primary theaters did not align, and they might well disperse their resources in different directions. But the problem was we have a lot of people with nuclear weapons now. You really don't want to do the hot war. So if the West and others manage things correctly, I've given you a huge historical legacy of fraught relations. Play your cards appropriately, and these two will take care of each other. And the rest of us can, if we do it right, don't launch trade wars on each other, but rather try to maximize our prosperity so that we get stronger and stronger while they're busy in these wealth-destroying wars. And Putin is just blowing through all of his assets in Ukraine to no purpose. That's how we fought and won the last Cold War. Putin, he's trying to do empire in the age of nationalism. Well, it's a non-starter, and he's dumping all of his ordnance on Ukraine, leaving Siberia wide open, and Xi Jinping has moved right in, even before the Ukraine war. That's this Belt Road Initiative is peeling away the former Russian sphere of influence in Central Asia, and Putin is doing this hot war gambit when Russia's weak and China is strong, making it particularly damaging. And you go, well, why would it matter? Well, Siberia has precisely the resources that China now needs and covets and wants to have them contiguous so other people can't mess with them. And in particularly, they want water because they've blown through their water table in North China. And Lake Baikal has over 20% of the world's surface fresh water. So if you want a quick fix, it's the best one. And China is known for big water projects. They've been damming the Mekong and the Yangtze. They've done massive water projects. So that may be in Russia's future, who knows? And Xi Jinping now holds all of the cards. China has 9 times the population, 9 times the GNP of Russia, and their per capita GNPs are converging. Not good news for Putin. So I think the question isn't whether this bromance is going to last forever, but rather when it's going to end. When is Xi Jinping going to decide he's got the right amount of leverage to get whatever it is he wants? And I think what's going on now illustrates the perils of getting your primary adversary wrong. Nicholas II fought a recreational war against Japan, the Russo-Japanese War of 1904-1905. He is pouring resources into really an irrelevant theater in those days. Instead of taking those resources and putting it into a railway system that European Russia desperately needed to face off Germany, which it does within the decade and loses, he is overthrown in part because of bread riots in St. Petersburg, because no foreign aid can get in because he has inadequate railway system. They'll be built later, and they'll be good for Lend-Lease. So he and his family wind up shot in a Siberian basement. It takes a decade to play out. So I don't know how it's going to go for Vladimir Putin on all of this. If we play our cards right, maybe he'll go away and is lonesome. We have to wait a long time. On the other hand, if we get into a hot war, nuclear war, and in the meantime, if the United States kills off its alliance system, which is one of its greatest strengths, by doing a gratuitous trade war on our allies, and then we have a dust-up with China, well, let's think about this. Japan tried this go it alone, my way or the highway strategy with China back in World War II, right? When China was a failed state, and it wrecked Japan. China now has a population that's a multiple of ours, an industrial base that's a multiple of ours. Why on earth would you ever want to take on them alone? So I'm going to quote Pericles, who was the leader of Athens at its height when it was building all these ancient ruins that weren't ruins when they were being built, right? They're gone. And he was this warning came on the eve of a succession of Athenian blunders, and ancient Athens never recovered. I am more afraid of our own blunders than of the enemy's devices. Our leaders truly need to ponder this before they wreck all of us, themselves included.
If you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode here and subscribe for more clips. Thanks.